It all began on a bright afternoon when Karen, the notorious HOA enforcer, decided to take her overreach to a new level. This time, she targeted my ranch because she believed my fence was too gaudy, and thus justified her interference. Armed with her clipboard and full of self-importance, she assumed she had the authority to block access to my property. What she didn't realize was that her audacity would trigger consequences far beyond her imagination. I first became aware of her actions when neighbors reported that the entrance to my ranch had been obstructed. Karen had positioned barricades, strategically using her imagined HOA authority to try to prevent access. My security cameras captured every detail: her placement of barricades, her frantic phone calls, and her attempts to intimidate anyone entering or leaving the property. It was clear she believed she could enforce her will unopposed. Rather than confronting her immediately, I calmly assessed the situation and reviewed my options. Karen had underestimated one crucial factor. I had the financial means and foresight to counter any interference. Within minutes, I had purchased the only road providing access to my ranch, ensuring complete control over entry and exit. Her attempts to block me had now backfired spectacularly. When I confronted Karen, she was mid-rant, waving her clipboard and insisting she had the authority to control access. I calmly explained that not only did she have no legal right to block me, but that her actions had triggered consequences that left her powerless. Her confident demeanor faltered as she realized that her attempt to enforce arbitrary rules had directly resulted in a loss of control. Karen tried to argue, claiming the HOA sanctioned her actions, but I allowed her to continue while documenting every word. By the time local authorities arrived, reviewing property deeds and video footage, it became obvious that her interference was unlawful. She was formally cited for trespassing, harassment, and unauthorized obstruction. Neighbors who had witnessed portions of the confrontation whispered in disbelief at her audacity and her spectacular failure. I didn't stop there. Recognizing the possibility of future interference, I implemented permanent safeguards. Security cameras monitored every approach, barricades were legally removed, and full authority over the access road ensured that any further attempts by Karen or the HOA would be immediately nullified. Her audacious attempt to block my ranch had now triggered protections guaranteeing her futility in all future interactions. From my vantage point, observing Karen retreat flustered, humiliated, and exposed to legal consequences, I reflected on the lesson she had learned. She had tried to assert control over my property through obstruction, assuming audacity could replace legality. Instead, she encountered preparation, strategic planning, and undeniable authority, resulting in her complete failure. The moral was unmistakable. Overreach, arrogance, and attempts to manipulate control are no match for preparation, legal authority, and strategic foresight. Karen had tried to block my ranch, but in the end, she had only secured her own humiliation while I gained full control over access and property rights.